What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here today to bring you an NFL prediction video on free agent running back Saquon Barkley. I believe he will sign with the Chicago Bears this offseason. But before we get started, guys, comment down below what team do you believe will sign Saquon this offseason. There's a bunch of options. A lot of teams have money, and a lot of teams need a running back one. So let's get into it, guys. So I'm going to start with the team that's probably, or at least the fan base, that's mad at me the most and calling me names, probably. I seen the title, and that's the Houston Texans fans. Then I'm going to get into, after I discuss that, why not the Texans, I'm going to get into why the Chicago Bears. So first off, I did a video on January 24th answering an NFL mailbag question I received from a supporter from social media saying, should the Houston Texans sign or target Saquon Barkley? Video did well, got about 80 comments, respectable back and forth between me and a lot of Texans fans. And I'm going to carry over from that video two main points. I said in that video why the Houston Texans should not sign Saquon Barkley. For one, Saquon would be a luxury piece. They don't need Saquon Barkley. If the reports are true, Saquon wants around 11 plus million. I've been saying for the last 2 years, since 2022, I'm not paying Saquon probably around 6-7 million. I'm not really a big Saquon guy. Yeah, the idea of him is good, but the injury concern is real. I wouldn't pay him beyond, I think 2022 I said beyond 10 million. And I know around a little less now. He's getting a little older, still shown to have injury problems, last year as well. So I'm good on Saquon as far as big money. Still elite, still has flashes, but I wouldn't pay him that much money. You could bring in a guy like Josh Jacobs for around 7, 8, 9 million. You can bring in, DeAndre Swift and stuff like that to pair with Devin Singletary if they decide to bring him back. So that's part one. Part two is the Texans have holes. They're not a team that's one player away from getting the job done. They have needs at certain spots. They have to re-sign guys or either upgrade certain spots. Steven Nelson, the cornerback, he's a free agent. They may need to bring him back or upgrade to have someone good opposite of Derek Stingley at corner. So either Steven Nelson or someone else. So they need to upgrade there. Need more edge rushing. You need more D linemen. You need better linebackers. You need better O line, and not to mention wide receiver. And they just signed Dalton Schultz. They re-signed him. So they don't have a lot of cap space like the Commanders, like the Patriots do. They have a nice amount, though. They're definitely, I believe, the Texans' top 5, top 7 as far as cap space goes, but they have to use it wisely. And they might have their eyes set on other pieces like Christian Wilkins, someone, or even Chris Jones if he becomes available. So we'll see there. But those are the main two reasons why I don't believe Saquon will go to the Texans. For one, is a luxury and he might want too much money, plus injury concerns. That's all wrapped up in one. And then two, as I just said, they have other needs that might be more pressing to worry about than the running back spot. Now, why the Bears? The Bears have been on the Saquon rumor mill since last offseason. Even with their former coaching staff, same head coach, but new offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. I think Saquon would have been a perfect fit for Justin Fields in that scheme. Now, new coordinator from Seattle, Shane Waldron, is now there. I love how he handles his running back rotations. Last year, he had Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I think he'll do the same thing if you bring on Barkley or even bring on a guy like Austin Eckler, someone dynamic. You're going to need someone to pair with those dynamic guys and someone probably that has more power, more strength. Roshan Johnson or Khalil Herbert if they decide to keep one of those two guys. Probably Johnson, I would say, probably keep him. So have Johnson as your number 2 guy, power back, and then you either can bring in Saquon or another option I said last year as well. I did a prediction video on if Eckler would have been traded, you can bring in Eckler if you don't want to bring in or can't bring in Saquon Barkley. So I think that's a good option and good fit for Shane Waldron's offense. But what better way to ingratiate Caleb Williams in your offense than having DJ Moore, having Cole Kmet, and having Saquon Barkley. Plus, you have a ninth pick. you can bring in another receiver or someone, or you have money as well to bring in someone athletic, someone explosive, Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, whoever it may be. The Bears have a bunch of picks, well, a nice amount of picks. They just spent some on a center from the Bills, I believe. So they have a nice amount of picks. They can definitely get more if they trade, and if or when they trade Justin Fields. So I think having Caleb Williams, let's just say that's a scenario, or even Fields. You want to surround your quarterback with supreme talent. You have the money, you have the pieces, you have the funds to do so. Why not do it? So draft explosive free agents, sign explosive guys. So Saquon to me would be a great fit with either Fields or Caleb Williams. You have BJ Moore already on the outside. Pair him up with someone nice, Calvin Ridley, Bourne from the Patriots, bring back Darnell Mooney maybe. There's a bunch of options. Curtis Samuel. So there's a bunch of options. And I think the Bears are in a good spot to be one of those sneaky teams that could be a worst to first. Matt Eberflus's defense looked very good last year towards the second half of the season. He finally got talent in there now, so let's see what we can do once again. Lost Eddie Jackson, though. He wasn't really playing that well anyways, but they have the money to bring in guys to fit Eberflus's scheme perfectly how he really wants it. And then you have the trade assets as well. If you trade Fields, to trade sign and trade, not sign and trade because the Panthers have him, but you can do a franchise tag and trade for the Panthers' Brian Burns. You can get Danielle Hunter if it's the open market. They have money to do a bunch of things. And I think adding Saquon to that mix, and Saquon might buy into the mix and to the influence and to the hype around Williams and the Bears and want to go there, for maybe even a lower price. So I think the Bears are a definite threat to the Texans. But as I said, I think the Texans, it sounds good, especially in the offseason. Since the offseason has started, no name has been hotter than C.J. Stroud as far as players reportedly want to play with him. Stephon Diggs to Devontae Adams publicly said stuff about him, good things. And the list goes on. And Saquon is one of those guys as well, rumored that he talked to C.J. Stroud. He wants to be with the Texans, blah, blah, blah. So every player that's possibly on the trade market that's an older veteran reportedly wants to come to Houston and play with C.J. Stroud. Mostly offensive guys, obviously. As I said, Diggs, Mike Evans, who was reportedly, who was once a free agent, now he's resigned. But Evans was involved as well, maybe. So the list could go on about and go on and on about the players that potentially want to play with C.J. Stroud, and that sounds good and all, but you have to actually, fit what they have going on. And right now, I don't know if they're going to target a running back, an aging running back that has injury problems. So it could definitely happen. I could be wrong, could be off here, but I think the Bears to me make a lot of sense, and they're a sneaky option as well. And like I said, they've been in the mix for Saquon for a while. Obviously, last year Saquon did not get moved. If he did, the Bears were definitely a nice option to think about if you're going to get upgrade that running back spot. Now, on to some other teams, not named the Houston Texans or the Chicago Bears. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles. Reportedly that they're not going to bring back DeAndre Swift, so there'll be an option there. They bring in Barkley behind that great offensive line. The question may be, how good will they be without Jason Kelce? We will see. How good will the tush push be without Jason Kelce? So, so we'll see there. But Barkley behind the O line should still be solid without Kelce. Might not be as good, but still should be strong. So Barkley behind the offensive line. Dallas Cowboys, can they make a big splash move and sign him, let go of Pollard and sign Barkley? It's possible. And I'm a big believer in players wanting to spurn their old team, especially on another winning team. Obviously, the Cowboys and the Eagles are two of the best teams in all of football. So he could be on a great team as well, and also have a double incentive and spurn his old team, the Giants, that play them twice a year. So the Eagles, the Giants, even the Commanders are a super long shot. I don't see it happening, but all three of those teams could be options to land Saquon. The Baltimore Ravens obviously makes sense as well. They've been trying to get an RB1 for a while. J.K. Dobbins hasn't panned out. The injuries really hurt him. no pun intended. But bringing in Saquon to pair with a guy like Justice Hill in that Ravens offense would make sense as well. Also, another sneaky, quiet team is the Cincinnati Bengals. The rumor has been going on for about 2 years now, or maybe like a year and a half, but they could be rumored to possibly cut Joe Mixon. That's been going on for a while now, especially last offseason with the offseason troubles. But if they really do cut Joe Mixon, would they want to replace him with a more injury-prone running back? No, but they might want more explosiveness as well, and bringing in Saquon Barkley. Maybe just me, but maybe I'm overplaying his injury problem or injury woes. But the NFL or other teams might not really worry about it too much. So it might just be me and how I'm feeling about it. But I do think that the injuries could be a concern for some teams that might not that might go with a lesser or different option like a Josh Jacobs, Swift, and other guys running back spots that are free agents. So, but we'll see where it goes, guys. But I'm loving the Chicago Bears getting Saquon Barkley. I think it's a great move. Probably a dark horse or not a fan favorite, but I think it is definitely possible, guys. But that's it for the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.